Hello everyone, Rosabel's here, and we are a week away from the open of Abnormal Spectrum, our next main story episode, episode 16. Starting with some quick info, for this event open, you need at least to clear stage 3-8 in order to access episode 16, but only during this event. Once this event is over, you need to complete episode 15 before you can access episode 16 again. The event will start on March 19, 2026 and will run for 2 weeks, but the episode will be staying after this. The only thing that changes are people's access to it and some rewards. Now, before we start talking about the event, the upcoming characters are pretty sick, and I know Silver Ash Altar is around the corner, so if you have extra money but don't want to break the bank, then you can get packs for cheaper using this video's sponsor, Loot Bar, the most affordable and safest packs trading platform in the gacha space. Loot Bar provides cheaper prices for the different packs on your favorite gachas, and new members will receive a coupon upon making an account, which can give you up to 20% discounts on your first purchase. Topping up is super easy for Arknights. Just select your pack, pay using the many local payment options available for your country, then redeem the pack in-game. If you're worried, Loot Bar has a high score of 4.9 on Trustpilot and has received tens and thousands of reviews, which is enough to show that their service is safe and effective. So come and join Loot Bar. Use code ROSABELS when you check out to get an extra 10% off of your purchase. Let's start this with the new units. We have 3 new operators introduced with this chapter, and they will all be pullable in the Silent Wavelengths banner. First, we'll start with our newest 4-star, Snegorochka. She's an Agent Vanguard, which is a Vanguard class that is a fast redeploy, and they can hit aerial enemies. Her talent gives her additional attack speed, but this is lost if she takes damage. Her first skill is an offensive recovery skill where her next attack will deal up to 280% attack as physical damage and gives 3 DP. Her second skill is an auto recovery skill that gives her up to plus 40 attack speed, and she gains 1 DP per attack, and each attack slows enemies for 1 second. Up next, we have the new 5-star Vetochki. She's a Juggernaut Defender, which is a class of defender that cannot be healed by allies like Mudrock and Penance. Her talent heals up to 60% of her max HP every time her skill ends, which is pretty sick. Her first skill is a defensive recovery skill which gives her status resistance and increases her defense to up to 120% at M3. Her second skill is an auto-recovery skill that will inflict frighten around her, and she gets up to 150% attack and 50% defense, and she attacks all blocked enemies. And finally, the long-awaited 6-star, the granny we've been waiting for, we have Mantra. Let's be real, from the first time we saw her, we all knew she was going to be a 6-star. You cannot design a character like this and tell me she's an NPC. Anyway, she's a primal caster who deals arts damage and can also inflict or support elemental damage. Mantra in particular specializes in nervous impairment. Tragodia means rejoice! For her first talent, whenever an enemy triggers paralysis, she deals up to 145% attack as elemental damage to that enemy, with up to a 13% chance for the paralysis stack to not be consumed. This is a friendly reminder that a nervous impairment burst puts 3 stacks of paralysis on an enemy. For her second talent, and this makes me laugh with the addition of her first talent, enemies that enter the incursion point, aka the red box closest to her, will enter with 1 stack of paralysis up front. This can only affect normal incursion points, and there will be a blue ripple effect to indicate which incursion point is effective. Enemies enter and Mantra's like, die. Her first skill is an offensive recovery auto skill, where the next attack can deal up to 325% of Mantra's attack as arts damage and an additional 30% of attack as nervous impairment damage. If the enemy is under nervous impairment burst, she deals an additional 200% of her attack as elemental damage. This skill is pretty wild because at M3, the SP needed for this skill is just 2. Her second skill will reduce her attack interval, attacks deal up to 240% attack as arts damage, and jump between 3 enemies, dealing up to 120% attack as arts damage, and deal up to 18% of that in addition as nervous impairment. If the target is already under nervous impairment burst, it deals an additional up to 25% of attack as elemental damage. For this skill, the art's damage hits first before the elemental damage. And finally, her third skill expands her attack range, reveals all invisible enemies within her attack range, and reduces the maximum number of stacks of paralysis to 2. When another operator activates a skill while in Mantra's range, including Mantra herself, she inflicts 2 stacks of paralysis to up to 3 enemies in range. For each stack of paralysis that overflows the maximum limit, which I remind you is reduced to 2, she deals up to 185% of her attack as elemental damage to that enemy, then jumps to another. This skill is a bit complicated, so here's some notes. How this skill works is that the enemies individually accumulate paralysis overflow, and every 1.5 seconds, Mantra does a check for enemies that have any overflow, then does the elemental damage. If a target with overflowing stacks leave Mantra's attack range or is defeated while the skill is active, all stacks will immediately be consumed to launch the corresponding number of follow-up attacks. And all these overflowing stacks of paralysis are cleared when the skill ends. Seeing gameplay footage of Mantra and Tragodia is crazy, and I can't wait for my paralysis team to be up and running. All 3 of these units will receive plus 50% trust during the event. Now let's go to stage mechanics. For this chapter, we have actual helpful civilians! We'll have some miners who will actually attack enemies and who will help us out in the stage, and the best part is that you don't lose HP if they die. Huzzah! These miners will spawn naturally on the map, or you can continuously spawn them and make them move with the use of a device called the Secluded Mine Tunnel. This will spawn a miner every 15 seconds with a maximum of 3, and activating it will either put them in attack or standby mode. Besides attacking, they can aggro and engage certain enemies, making them both stop in their tracks. This does not apply for all enemies though. When they are in the range of a medic, they will be healed 50% of the medic's attack per second, separate from the medic's own heals. Multiple medics can stack this effect. Aside from dealing damage, they can also help us with certain obstacles. First is the severely polluted device, which spreads high-risk contamination in its attack range, which is like a square adjacent. It's pretty big. In the high-risk contamination zone, enemies will be invisible and allies cannot be deployed there. It has pretty beefy stats with 30,000 HP, 300 defense, and 50 resistance. But good news is that we have the best civilians. They not only clear some of the high-risk contamination, but they each deal 1,000 true damage to the orb, clearing the way for you. The second is the Rock Blockade, which can cover key points that you might want to use your units on. The miners can clear these easily as well, so you can place your units down. Best civilians ever. Clearing all the stages and the adverse stages and the H stages will reward a total of 43 OP. Just like episode 15, there's also an extra adverse mode where you can choose additional challenges and you can get up to 3 extra OP. This is also the reward pool where you can unlock the H stages and get some extra rewards. Since this is a main story, there's no real rated up item, but there will be a variety of items that you can farm as per usual. Regardless, clearing the stages will give Flint, which is a special event currency that will only be given during this event. You will also get some extra rewards from progressing through the story naturally. There will be extra rewards that will only be available during the event open, which includes this new skin from Windscoot when you clear 16-8. And I have to say, I didn't know his hair was like that at all. I never noticed it. Anyway, with the Flint, you can buy a bunch of stuff from the event shop, including this cute little rope skin in case you missed it during the 3 million downloads rewards or from the old CC. You can also get furniture, some energy, resources and materials, the unlimited Loxic calls and magnesium ore, and we can also buy an unlimited amount of Rhodes Island supply crates, which contain an emergency sanity sampler, and a Rhodes Island supply, which contains a random tier 1 to tier 3 upgrade material. If you're like me and you have like 600 plus of the other 2 items, it's a great alternative. Moving on to operator updates, operator records and their paradox sims will be added for Mantra, Bobbing, Pinecone, and Tippy. Our new operators will be introduced with their class modules upon release. Snegorochka will get her X module that will make her less likely to be attacked by enemies, and at level 3 it will give her additional attack speed. Vetochki will get her X module, which will let her take 15% less damage from enemies she's blocking, and at level 3 it will increase her defense and the percentage of HP she recovers at the end of her skill. Mantra's X module will increase her damage to enemies under Elemental Burst to 110%. At level 3, it will improve her first talent so she deals more damage to paralyzed enemies and increases the chance of not consuming a paralysis stack. Aside from that, operator modules will also be added to loop shooter snipers, which increases their attack to 110% when hitting enemies in a close range. Leveling this up will also improve their talents. For instance, for Narantuya, it will increase her steel cap to 300 for attack and 240 for defense. And in addition, if the enemies are surrounding her, then she will steal twice. Some units will also be getting extra modules. Executor Alter will be getting his Y module, which will give him more attack speed when there are at least 2 enemies in his range. At level 3, it adds to his second talent that will increase his attack when using ammo-based skills and will give him physical and arts dodge when his ammo is above half. Personally, I prefer his X module. I think the extra attack with the defense ignore is too good to pass up. But hey, mayhaps this will be better for consistency. OG caster Aya will be getting her Y module, which will grant her 1 SP whenever she hits a leader or elite enemy. At level 3, it will improve her second talent by adding additional attack speed, and the stipulation that she is assured to get the maximum if there is an elite or leader enemy in her attack range. Again, I think I prefer her X module where she boosts caster's attack, but I can see the appeal of this if you want to heli drop her for a volcano. Aside from those two, Mama Radian will have her second specialized module for Aya's unlocked. This one will let her attack an additional enemy, and at level 3, it will let her recycle her summons adjacent to her to heal her HP and causes her attacks to deal additional damage. It is still behind the Aya 6 wall though, so you'll have to do clears in certain conditions to unlock it and level it up. Now moving on to store updates. In the skin shop, I know Holy Week is around the corner, but this was originally released in Halloween. So we're getting some crazy Halloween drip for our operators. This includes skins for Narantuya, Mitem, Gray the Lightning Bearer, and Haze. There will also be a bunch of Halloween rerun skins, including this live 2D skin for Degenbreaker, and skins for Blaze, Baseline, Papucarides, Whisperain, Quercus, Dorothy, and Fiametta. There will also be a fashion review exhibition. Players can spend 2,800 or random to get one random outfit from the fashion review exhibition list, and you can only participate once. If you have all the outfits already in the exhibition list and you still participate, you will instead get a fashion review entry voucher, which you can exchange for one free skin in the next fashion review. Personally, I don't like that they're requiring a random. I feel like people like to keep their pulls separate from their skin currency. But if you have OP, you need 15.56 or 16 OP to get the 2,800 a random to participate. If you don't want to touch your current a random savings, which, to be fair, is cheaper than the usual 18 OP for a skin. For those with spendable money, there will be some packs including 12 exclusive pulls that can only be used in the Mantra banner. Other than that, there's the Caster Chip pack and mayhaps some others. And that's it for this update. This month is honestly hell month in my IRL work, so I won't be streaming this event, but I will be posting my Mantra pulls. Definitely going to try to get all 3 of the new units, but Mantra is my main priority. Need my paralysis team. Anyway, that's it from me. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!